Hi everyone, this is Sal Khan, founder of the Khan Academy, and I'm just excited to be able to talk to all of you at the Pan IIT Forum. I think based on your background and what y'all are trying to do in the world, we're very much kindred spirits, where we all realize the power that education can have on someone's life. And so I'm excited to interface with all of you as we work on our mission of providing a free world-class education for anyone, anywhere, to think about how we can work with the community, the broader IIT community, to make sure that this is truly a world phenomenon and as many children and learners of all ages are as empowered as possible. So thank you for having me part of your event.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Salman Khan of Khan Academy, and in some ways, the individual who has helped to bring about the new revolution of the flipped classroom, a new type of education, a new type of content, all in our lifetime, frankly, all in the last five or 7 years or so. Let's start with the next speaker. I would like to invite now Paulette Altmaier, Vice President of the Khan Academy and also an IITian from IIT Bombay, to speak about the internationalization. Oh, I'm sorry, IIT Madras. Did I get it wrong? Sorry. Okay, I got it wrong. Okay. Anyway, also an IITian to speak about the internationalization of Khan Academy videos so that they can be used to teach kids on the Indian subcontinent in various languages. So a little bit about Paulette. IIT Madras, I stand corrected, BTech in electronics, started career as a software engineer at Intel, a career in Silicon Valley as a vice president, general manager at Cisco, Juniper, Dell, great companies, responsible for building and running billion-dollar businesses. Really, really quite an achievement for an IITian. And now at Khan Academy, nonprofit, vice president for that, free online learning resources, and that's what she's doing. So Paulette, please come on over. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm really honored to be invited to speak today. You know, several speakers have come here and, humorously call themselves fake IITians. So although I'm a real IITian, I'm actually a fake entrepreneur because I'm here just for Sal, who's the real entrepreneur. I'm in the company of all these amazing education entrepreneurs who have started new things and, are making an enormous progress. So I'm here, though, for Khan Academy, which is, a real, genuine, phenomenon. And started by Sal, so although I'm not the founder, I'm as passionate about it as anyone could be, and I left my high-tech career to try and do something meaningful in education. So I'm just delighted to be here on behalf of Khan Academy. So just to start with, who we are. Of course, as you know, we're a nonprofit. We're completely free, and our mission is to provide a world-class education for free to anyone, anywhere. That's overall our vision. Obviously, as many people have pointed out today, there are several, lots of parts of the world where the access isn't there, electricity may not be there, leave alone computers and the internet. But we see the world is moving in that direction, and there's an enormous amount that we can all do together to really bring that free education to everyone. So let me just start with a couple of words on where Khan Academy is today. You might have heard the sort of genesis story of Khan Academy, but Sal started it in his closet, as it were, sort of teaching his cousin. But we got our first foundation funding 3.5 years ago. And we funded by the Gates Foundation. Bill Gates, as you know, is a big supporter. By John and Ann Doe. We've also funded by the Google Foundation and a lot of other, really passionate philanthropies who are passionate about education. So here's where we are today, 3.5 years after we got our first funding. We're in 200 countries. We're used by about 200,000 educators. We have 10 million unique monthly users. Now, of course, that's not our total user base because we get used in bursts by different people at different times. But on a monthly basis, we see a pretty regular 10 million uniques every month. And we've had so far on our site, we've had 2 billion problems answered. And I wanted to emphasize that because people think of Khan Academy and they think about videos. But really, since math is our major content, as you may know, we all know you don't learn math by listening to videos about math. You learn math by actually doing math. And we invest most of our time and energy in creating those very rich interactive problem sets, which I'll show you some of their capabilities a little bit later. And we really watch this metric very carefully because this is really represents learning, the 2 billion problems so far. So quick look at who uses Khan Academy. Most of the learners are individual users. We are also used in classrooms, as I said, 200,000 educators. Of our learners, about 2 million of them are in classrooms. The rest are actually just individual learners. Many of them are in school, but their teacher's not using it. They're using Khan Academy themselves to learn math, to teach themselves math, whether they're having problems, they don't understand what's going on, or they want to understand it better, or they need to refresh and review. Most of our users are actually sort of individual learners. We also used in out-of-school programs. Now, one point I really want to make, given in the last year or two the huge discussion around MOOCs, is we're not a MOOC primarily because we're not a course at all. A course after all, has a beginning, it has an end, it has a fixed time, it has prerequisites. We are none of those things. We are a learning resource. If you look at math, which is our exemplar content, we have everything from 1 + 1 all the way through calculus and beyond. So our goal is to be a learning resource so that wherever students are, whether they're children, whether they're adults, wherever students are on their learning journey, whatever gaps they may have, whatever it is they need to learn and don't know today, or haven't gotten their foundations right, our goal is to have everything that they need so that they can teach themselves, so that they can learn. If they have a teacher, if they have anyone who can help them, that's great. But we invest a tremendous amount in doing everything we can to help learners as much as possible take control of their learning, and we've heard a lot of those themes today. Take control of their learning and help themselves learn. So what is our learning philosophy? And it has a lot of resonance with the other points that were raised by the earlier speakers. We believe in what we call personalized learning. Self-paced is a key part of that. Several speakers talked about this regimentation. We expect kids to sit in a classroom and learn everything all together at the same time. Well, we know that even the most brilliant people don't all get the same concepts at the same pace. So we really believe in that notion of self-paced, to let students move at their own pace, master something, and then move on to the next thing. And there's plenty of research, of course, that shows that that's really the way that the sort of overall learning gains, you can get a full standard deviation increase in learning when you focus on mastery and self-paced as opposed to moving students along at a fixed regimented pace. So that's our philosophy. We really want to help learners everywhere, but we believe in personalized learning. We believe in letting people learn at their own pace so that they can realize their own potential.
Of these interactions are just due to the gravity.
This is an age right after Isaac Newton.
I'm told the humidity makes it feel hotter. Why is this?
Excellent question, LeBron.
And you can just see the pleasure he had.
Can you determine which light bulb is being switched?
Things actually can interbreed, although for these two in particular, it seems like the mechanics would get kind of difficult.
So I can keep playing around with these numbers and see what kind of colors I can come up with.
If this does not blow your mind, then you have no emotion.
So I thought I'd play you a little montage of our videos. Now, our main content is math, okay? Math problem sets, we have 100,000 problems on our site and math videos, but we are branching out into other areas as well, as fast as we can. But our biggest focus is on math because we do recognize how foundational and how fundamental math is, to move forward and to change people's lives, to move forward in their careers, and especially the way the world is going today. STEM careers are really where the huge amount of growth is. So I played that little video montage, so just to give you a feel for our site. But now I will then, contradict myself and say again that Khan Academy is not a video library. We use videos as aids to learning, but especially using math as the example. Most of our time and our energy and our software development, 3/4 of the people at Khan Academy are software engineers, and most of our energy is spent on those interactive problem sets so that students can learn. Okay, so I will show you one of those problem sets here, one of those problems in a moment, but I want to draw your attention to a few features here in the spirit of helping students take control of their learning and to help themselves. So here's an example, from one of the lower grade levels. I forget which one. What's the surface area of the cube? And there are some really important features on the site to help learners learn. So the first thing is if they enter an answer, you'll notice this is not multiple choice. We don't have much of that. If they enter an answer, and if they can check their answer immediately. And that immediate feedback is a really important part of learning. But that's only a tiny part. If you don't know how to do it, if you got it wrong, now what? Are you stuck? Well, you're not. You see the next box below, need help. I'd like a hint. I'll show you the hints that come up for this whole series of hints, and this is true of every single one of our problems. When you have a problem on our site, if you don't know how to do it, you can keep clicking that box, I need a hint, to get as many as you need. So at the end of it, you've learned something. Our goal is if you don't know something, you're not just stuck and you're waiting for somebody to come and help you. Our goal is to do everything that we can to help you learn, so when you move on to the next problem, and we have 30 or 40 problems of each type, so you can move on to the next problem, you've learned something and you can move forward. Okay? And then in addition, if you really don't know the concept, then for every problem we have a link to a video where you can play the video and learn the concept, and then go back to either this problem or go back to ask for another problem. You see, as soon as you enter your answer, you can, and once you get it right, which you can do with the hints, you can ask for another problem. So the goal is to help students at every step of the way to either they know something and can practice it to master it, and if they don't know it, they can learn it. And that's a huge part of our philosophy. So let me show you what happens if you ask for hints. A video will play which will show you all the hints that show up for this problem. So part of our goal here is to really use the computer, all the rich visualization. This is one of the sort of the simpler, visualization problems, to really make things clear to students, so that at the end of it they really understand. So well, why is this? It's not just to give you a formula, but why is it the way it is, and to help you get that conceptual grasp of it. So we've talked a lot about teachers, and we have and data, and we're big believers in data to help students sort of to know where students are, whether it's their parent who's looking at where the student is, or whether it's a teacher. And since everything is on in our online basically on the internet, we hope in the future that we'll have the school in the cloud, and we'll be able to have the grandmother who can also help a student, or just be a supporter, even if he or she doesn't know math. But we do have very, very detailed, we call them coach tools, so that anybody, whether it's a peer, and we have big believers in peer learning, whether it's a peer, whether it's a parent, whether it's a teacher, can really see where each student is. We have this is just one of our numerous teacher reports, but you can see for every single sort of math skill, as we call it, which students, if it's a class, which students know it, which don't know it, who's struggling, that's the red, who's practicing, that's a light blue, who's got it, that's a dark blue. So our goal is, and we also use the big data. We have an enormous data set, as you can imagine, one of the largest education data sets in the world. We also use that for our analytics to see, what problems are our students consistently getting wrong. Then did the video not explain the concept properly, or is there something wrong with the problem? So we're constantly iterating, we're constantly learning. Our site allows users to provide feedback, so that we're constantly looking at that feedback to say, how can we improve? So we're constantly iterating. We want to know what's working and what's not, and we're constantly looking to improve. Now, one quick segue here, I was asked to just talk about it, because when we did this College Board announcement a week or two ago, a lot of people said, what the heck, what is Khan Academy doing this at? So I just wanted to explain the philosophy here. It's what we're going to be providing is free world-class test prep for the new SAT that's coming out in 2016. But we're also going to do everything we can, right now for today's SAT. And the reason behind that is because the SAT is a gateway to educational opportunities opportunities for students. You know, like the SAT and the ACT are both the gateway to a lot of learning opportunities, and today there's this huge disadvantage for, you know, for lower income kids who do not have access to any help for how to prepare for this exam that's going to really have a lot of impact on their ability to move into higher education. So the reason we've done this is very much in line with our philosophy of free learning resources. We want to help level the playing field, and that's why we're doing this. So it's just in line with, you know, it's really just in line with our educational philosophy of helping everyone regardless of their resources. So a look at where we are internationally. You know, today we are translated, of course we're in English. We have foundation support for the SLIM Foundation in Mexico and from the Lemon Foundation in Brazil. So we're rapidly, we either have been or, you know, most of our math has been translated into both Spanish and Portuguese, and we have a group in France working on French, and we have a group in Turkey. And at this moment, I'd just like to introduce Bilal Musharraf here, who's responsible for our translations, and he's also taken on, you know, just recently taken on building awareness for Khan Academy in South Asia and growing usage of our free resource, because we do see that although there's a reasonable level of awareness in this country, in many other countries, people haven't heard of Khan Academy, they don't know it's a free resource, they don't know it's available to them, and you know, we just feel that you know, we really feel that's as it were a waste of an opportunity. You know, we want to spread the word. So so since it's kind of fun, I'm going to play a language montage over here just to give you a feel for us.
Mais comi 2 quartos de pizza. L'hypoténuse commune, ok.
7, 13, 15.
और मैं इस हाथ से इस ब्लॉक को धकेलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ इस डायरेक्शन में.
توجد قطعتين من معدن النحاس والزنك.
في قارب توان 2 ضرب داره.
Que a nikudash ba shoka sium shel azafik khotekhet magala yikhida.
Ili muweze kuelewa na kuweza. Into yokuqala kufuneka siyazi kukuba kubani
16 bölü 16 1'e eşittir.
Muitas e muitas outras coisas importantes.
I'm Zaya from Mongolia. Your regions are so interesting and funny. Make more lessons.
So most of the languages you see are actually just, you know, ad hoc volunteer efforts. You know, there's the ability on our site, you can volunteer and then you can translate, you know, both subtitling the videos or doing voiceovers or, you know, translating the platform itself. But obviously this is very difficult when you have such a large learning resource to do it in this sort of volunteer-driven ways. So one thing I do want to say, and one thing I'm hoping will come out of your engagement here, is that, you know, that you might, and some of you in the audience might be aware of organizations who could work on translations and do that in a more systematic way, and also organizations who can work on awareness building of Khan Academy in India, you know, with the current English language resource, as well as, you know, whatever we have translated by volunteers into different languages. So, you know, Bilal is here because he was certainly hoping that, you know, people would have some bright ideas about that and would come talk to him about it. So please do, if you have any ideas about that, please do find him. He's, you know, going to be right here at the front of the room, hoping to hear from you. So I do have, we are used a little bit in India, you know, nothing like, you know, the numbers are not large given the Indian population. I think we have about 200,000 users in India right now, obviously mostly in English, but, you know, here's a classroom in Maharashtra, and Bilal gave me this video segment of a Hindi translation done by one of our volunteers, which I thought would be fun to play.
खोला होगा बाईं दिशा में या दाईं और या फिर ऊपर या नीचे की ओर। मैं दोहराना चाहूंगा, जैसे जैसे आप आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे ये अनंत स्पर्शी रेखाओं के समीप और समीप आते जाएंगे, परंतु इनसे स्पर्श नहीं होगा। ये अनंत समीप हो जाएंगी जब आप अनंत दूरी तक जाएंगे, जब x अनंत रूप से बड़ा हो जाएगा। तो ये
I hope that takes you back to your to your college days or school days. So This is the Spanish site. As I said, the SLIM Foundation is funding the full translation there, and we are very close to getting to the sort of level that we want to start awareness building. And as I said, we really would like to start awareness building even of the English language site in India, because as we know, there's even in low-income families, there's a tremendous desire to learn English, and we have a resource where students, even if they can't speak English fluently, can very often learn from an English medium site. So we really hope that there'll be some opportunity to work with either with some of you or with organizations that you are close to try to make a difference in India. And that closes my presentation. Thank you.